Welcome to Fall in Line Podcast. If you guys could please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. That's where the magic happens, right behind me. Enjoy the show. Welcome to another episode of Fall in Line Podcast. I am your host, Ross. I'm here with my guys, TT and Austin. Per usual, boys, we got to go through how we're feeling about our teams this week. The good, the bad. It comes every week here before we go into week 12. And I would love to start this one here because my Lions and the soon to be, I don't know if you can see it, defensive rookie of the year, him and Sauce are going to battle it out till the end, have been balling out lately. My Detroit Lions are one of the hottest teams in football lately, and I love it. I am drinking the Kool-Aid. They just announced Jameson Williams returned to practice, our number one or our first round pick. I'm excited. They just went in to MetLife, right? Giants, and stole one from the Giants, a 7-2 team who is on the verge of making the playoffs. Dan Campbell rips off 2 road wins in a row, 3 wins overall in a row, first time since 2017. And I am pumped, baby. Let's go, Lions. That's how I'm feeling. Sorry, boys. Had to go on a little rant right there. It's been a while.
Yeah, I can go next. I'm feeling good after that game. It's still tough to watch the offense struggle, but I'm loving the way the defense is playing, and we had a nice special team play at the end. So it was definitely anytime you can beat the Jets is a good game. So I'll take it.
I do got to ask you one thing, Austin. Block in the back or no block in the back?
No block.
All
No block.
right, TT, go ahead.
There's not much I can say. We're hurt. We have nobody playing. We're down to 10th string linemen, 5th string corners. We had our 5th and 6th string wide receivers in this week.
Yeah.
Outside of D Hop. Rondale Moore was playing. He went out within the first 3 plays.
Yeah.
Not one starting lineman. Our QB doesn't want to play. So, not much to say about my team. Not much.
We'll see if you keep that same injury energy here when we get into the picks, but we'll see. Other than that, boys, we got some things to talk about here in the NFL. There's some stuff going on. There's some quarterback controversies. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I really want to discuss this quarterback controversy here. Starting with, I know we're all going to go ahead and kind of feel this out and discuss it, but what are the Panthers going to do? They're trying everything they have. They just announced Sam Darnold's back to being the starter today. Baker Mayfield came back, looked just as bad as he's always looked for them. PJ Walker's injured. Matt Corral's injured. I don't know what they're going to do to that quarterback room. Do they draft a quarterback because they're looking at a top 5 pick? Do they stick with just having their quarterback from last year, Matt Corral, that they just drafted? Do they try to test him out? What do you guys think they should do here? Because that quarterback room is a mess.
Yeah. Baker is gone. PJ Walker, I think it's more just was a spur of the moment, had a couple of good games, but we know he's not going to last. He's not someone you're going to build around. Also, Sam Darnold's back. You give him a shot. Do you see how that goes? Sam Darnold plays well and performs well. He could be it. He is a first-round draft pick. He was a good college player. But, who really knows? I think if Sam does play well, I think he'll be the starter for the rest of the year, obviously. And then next year you could be looking at if I'm a GM personally in my mind, I would sit there and think, oh, maybe we can stick with Sam Darnold. And if he can't do it, we have Matt Corral, who got his rookie year ruined, who was also a great college quarterback too at Ole Miss. So, hard to say. I don't think they're necessarily going to go out and draft a corner. They still have a lot of other positions they need to build first with all of them first-round picks. So,
yeah,
that quarterback.
Yeah, it was exciting when they picked up Mayfield and Sam Darnold initially, but I think that they quickly found out that both of them just don't have what it takes to be a starting NFL QB. We'll see what Sam Darnold does, but Mayfield has just looked awful, and he did with Cleveland as well. So, yeah, I think they got to let him go and move on from him, and then I think they definitely should draft one of the top two in CJ Stroud. That's young, maybe even Will Levis if they like him, like what they see in his combine.
It just would be
Yeah.
tough to think that though, because I know that a quarterback that they drafted, I think Corral's drafting like the third round or later. I know that that's not going to prevent you from drafting who you think your franchise guy is, but I just don't. How do you do that after you thought a guy was good enough to draft and he doesn't even get a chance now? I just
Right.
think it would be really tough to imagine. I know the Cardinals, they for sure did it, but theirs was a little different. I mean, they had a guy they drafted very early and another guy they drafted early. That was rare.
And that could
Worked
be another
out.
thing too. That's Roz. That's a great point of saying they are now switching head coaches. We fired our coach after that season, brought in a new coach. He didn't want to work with Josh Rosen, obviously. He personally didn't think Rosen fit in his system, so he brought in a quarterback that he's worked with before, who was the Heisman winner, a great quarterback. And I mean, you took a better shot. Do I think it was the right choice? Yeah, for sure. Rosen had glimpses when he played, but he still had that Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield first round bust type mentality, in my opinion. I never really thought he was going to be anything. Wasn't excited when we took him. So
yeah, Kyler was the pick for sure. That was a great pick.
Yeah, and I think for me, it just comes down to like you can't pass that. You can't pass up on this talent that's coming out in this quarterback. So you get the chance to take one of them.
And slowly but surely, Justin Fields is putting that Ohio State quarterback myth to rest because he's balling out lately.
Balling out, running the ball. That's about it.
Yeah. All right. But we have another topic to get on here. Zach Wilson. What is going on there? Austin, you watched it firsthand this week.
Yeah.
What's going on with him? I didn't watch your game. I was watching the Lions. What happened? He threw for negative 21 yards in the second half.
He just didn't look good. It was the same way he looked when we played him the first time we played him. He looked like he was just seeing ghosts out there. He was throwing the ball all over the place, not making easy completions. He didn't look comfortable in the pocket at all. Yeah, just not good. And now it sounds like they might not even start him going into next week. So, just tough season.
He's on the hot seat right now, and I think another thing is they're sending him a message because the reporter handed him on a tee, a chance to kind of own up to how he's been playing and talk about how things are going to change. Like Derek Carr, for example, like Jared Goff did at the beginning of the year, like veteran quarterbacks do. They stand up and they say, "Hey, it's my fault. I need to be better." And he gave them the shortest answer possible. They said, "Hey, do you think you might be letting your defense down?" And he just said, "No." Didn't even elaborate or anything. No.
Yeah, I think he like just didn't think before he spoke. He kind of just like
absolutely. It was a knee-jerk reaction. Knee-jerk reaction because he was offended, but he absolutely let that defense down, and he has been. That defense has been keeping them in games and winning them games. So that reporter kind of was doing him a favor. I know it's a brutal question, and I know it sucks to be asked that question. I don't know personally, obviously, but I can only imagine. But it's true. I mean, are you letting your defense down? The answer is yes, you are.
Yeah. When you put up 3 points in a game,
and they hold them to 3.
Yeah, and I think it just causes issues in the locker room as well. I can't remember who the Jets player was, but he went out and liked the tweet that said,
"It was Sauce."
When Josh Allen,
it was
Sauce Gardner.
Was it Sauce? Yeah.
It was a couple of them.
Yeah, saying that Josh Allen let the team down when they scored 30 points, and then Zach Wilson wants to say no. So I think it's just not a good look. As
Sauce liked one that was by Jordan Lewis that said like, how did you like Jordan Lewis quote tweeted something that said at Zach Wilson, how did you not let your team down or something like that? And it was just like, it was some quote tweet along those lines, and Sauce favored it, but then he tweeted, momentarily after saying it was an accident once people started tagging him in it, but who knows? TT, what's your feel for this quarterback room?
I don't know. I think they believe Zach Wilson's the guy. But I think kind of like you guys were saying, he needs a wake-up call. I think if he has another bad game or two, you actually will see Joe Flacco. And he could play bad against the Bears this week, and Joe Flacco could start or take over. And I mean, I personally think that might be good because you did kind of bring him into a bad system last year and just kind of toss him to the dogs, you know. So maybe he needs to learn a little more behind Joe Flacco, in my opinion, is what I think. But I don't think you necessarily give up on him yet. You still have a winning record right now. So
He's kind of in a tough spot because he's on the Jets, who have in our our viewing lifetime have always had that type of defense where their defense can win them games, but they've never had that guy at quarterback. Like
right,
it was the Mark Sanchez, it was the Geno Smith, who
right.
now they wish they had Geno right now,
Yeah.
but it's always been that situation where they've had the defense that's good enough to go far in the playoffs, but that offense just holds them back. And I'm sure their fans are sick of it. I do think that they need to relax on. I've seen a lot of tweets saying they need to draft quarterback, but relax on that.
Yeah, I mean, look at
I agree.
Sam Darnold as well. Just seems like it's a never-ending cycle.
Yeah, you got to let one guy at least go through the learning curve. I mean,
Mhm.
even Mitch Trubisky was able to rattle off almost a Super Bowl run. I mean, if they had any sort of kicker, I mean, I think they need to relax on that portion. But yeah, no, there's trouble in paradise in that quarterback room. He needs
Yeah,
to
I mean,
be better.
I mean, look at a guy like Jimmy G, who doesn't put up crazy stats other than yesterday.
Right.
He doesn't put up crazy stats. He's a winner. I think if you can Joe Flacco, for instance, he didn't put up like crazy stats either. It's not like Zach's that type of quarterback. Where I think he doesn't put up crazy stats in the NFL. I think he's one of those ones that more can just lead you to a win.
Jared Goff just won on the road against the Giants, a playoff team, and he threw for 160 yards. I mean, you just have to make the right decisions, is all it is. I mean, if you have a good run game, which they did with Brees Hall, and a good defense, the Lions played good defense. They don't have a good defense, but I'm just using them as an example. Then the quarterback doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes out here. It doesn't have to be Josh Allen. Like,
right.
He needs to make the right decisions, and Zach Wilson has not been making the right decisions. He's throwing interceptions on balls he's trying to throw away. He just makes poor decisions, and it's costing him games.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to fans not being patient and wanting to move on so fast. They expect so much. Like, look at what happened with Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones. Fans started going crazy for Bailey Zappi because he had two good games, and then not understanding that Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler last year. And
they just want the next Mahomes. Every team thinks they have a guy sitting on the bench that's going to be the next Patrick Mahomes, and that's just not realistic.
Right. Look at Colt McCoy, man. Colt McCoy just led us to a win against the awful Rams team right now through two touchdown passes, and they're already calling for Kyler's head. What?
All right, boys. Let's move on to the most important thing on this podcast. The W belt. Austin, we share it again, you and I. This is turning into a common conclusion with 10-4 record. TT, you had a 9-5 record. You were right up there, but no trolling. Your Cardinals pick did cost you because that was the last possible pick. We were all tied going into that game. The Cardinals did cost you. My fault pick of the week is I picked Denver. Austin, your fault pick of the week was you picked the Chargers. Other than that, we all got pretty much the same ones, correct and incorrect. But yeah, so Austin, we own the belt again. I think we're sitting at 6 each. 6. TT's at 4.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, boys.
I just want to say I'm like on a lock streak of like 7 in a row. I feel like
I hit my lock as well. Austin hit his. TT. Washington. I don't remember who yours was.
I took the Bills. No, I remember who I took.
We all hit our locks. Yeah, we all hit. All right, fellas. Let's move on. Week 12 already. I am sick saying that, but it is week 12 already. And this is a special week. This is the Thanksgiving games. So let's get on to the Thanksgiving games. TT, are you there? I think your screen might have froze. I think we might have lost TT for a moment.
No, he's there on mine.
Oh, there he is. All right, I see you now. It froze on mine. But yeah, let's move on. Thanksgiving games, special time of year. 3 games on Thursday. That's always fun. Starting out with my Detroit Lions, 3 in a row of going against the Buffalo Bills. Bills favored by 10 in this game. I think this is the game where the Lions come back down to earth. But this is not going to be an easy game for the Bills. The Bills are playing a little bit under what they were playing at the beginning of the year. The Lions are playing a lot of it over how they were playing at the beginning of the year. It's at Ford Field. We're coming home after winning 2 road games in a row, 3-game win streak. It is going to be rocking. Thanksgiving is always rocking in Ford Field, and this team is as confident as they have been since I can remember. And what better way to gauge yourself than going against who everyone believes is to be the Super Bowl favorite? I don't think the Lions pull this one out, but I do think they cover the -10.
Yeah. Go ahead, Austin. Go ahead.
I'm going with the Bills in this one. I think not traveling is going to help them out a little bit since they played there last week. But I do think that Lions offense has been good all season, so it's going to be a tough game for the Bills. But they do have Truman Edmonds coming back this week, which is going to help them out a lot. And then that Bills defense shutting down Nick Chubb to 19 yards on 14 attempts is just insane. So I think it's going to have to be a shootout if the Lions want to win.
Shout out to the Lions shutting down Saquon Barkley, 17 carries, 22 yards. That was impressive. Aleem McNeil was balling. Aiden Hutchinson balling.
Yeah, that was a nasty pick.
Am I up?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. So I think the Bills win this one. I do think it's going to be a closer game for sure. The Bills just don't seem like they're fully together right now. Even the Browns look like they were possibly going to pull an upset early on with the way that game started off. But the Bills ended up coming back and firing. But I mean, Allen just doesn't look like he has, I don't know, the full mentality of it right now. I mean, they don't look like a Super Bowl team. They look like just a decent, normal, a normal win team. So, but I do think they pull this one out. I do still think they're better overall. The Lions do got some fire under their ass right now, so they'll keep it close, but I got the Bills.
Yeah, and another key thing I want to point out, being my team, I am pretty connected in it, and we are down both of our starting guards. We do have good depth on the offensive line, so we do have good backups that will play well. But also a big hit is Okuda got a concussion on Sunday, so since it's a short week, he is out. And not having your number one corner against this offense is scary. So, all right. Giants at Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 9 in this game. And that's a large spread, especially for how well the Giants have been playing. I mean, I know the Lions played them really good, but other than that, they've been playing really good football this year. But I actually like the Cowboys, and I think the Cowboys might cover that 9. The Cowboys are hitting their stride. They just embarrassed the Vikings, and they got Zeke and Pollard back, so that two-headed monster in the backfield's doing well. CeeDee Lamb's playing well. I'm going Cowboys in this game, and I think that they're going to dominate.
Yeah, I'm going Cowboys as well. They got to be one of, if not the hottest team coming into this game. And like you said, Zeke is coming back. The Giants have 4 out of their 5 offensive linemen questionable, and they also have 4 wide receivers on IR. So,
Wandell Moore, the rookie, just tore his ACL.
Yep, he was killing us.
Yeah,
he had 100
so
yards.
That's something you don't want to see going against this tough Cowboys defense. But yeah, I'm going Cowboys in this one.
Yeah, I definitely like the Cowboys. Like you said, Ross, they're hitting their stride. At the beginning of the season, I told you Tony Pollard was going to take over this team, and he has. He's balling out. So I think his show continues. Zeke comes back, but I think you're still going to see more of Tony Pollard. And the Cowboys, I think, like you said, I do think they cover the spread too.
I do think, I apologize. This is the last time I'll bring up the Lions, maybe. But I do think the Lions did put out a pretty good blueprint on how to stop the Giants. I think it's just force them to beat you without Saquon involved at all. and make Daniel Jones beat you with his legs and his arm. And look what happened. He threw 2 interceptions against us. There was another fumble by one of their wide receivers. Kenny Galladay's playing terrible this season. So, I mean, you got to make the other playmakers beat you besides Saquon. And that's what the Lions did, and it didn't work. So I think they did set up the blueprint there. I do also want to say, this is my hot take. Whoever loses this game is out of the race for that division 100%. The Eagles and whoever wins this game are too good for the other team to bounce back.
Yep. Yeah, and last thing I want to say is just Michael Parsons expected to play, so
yeah,
that'll
that's
help.
huge. All right, Patriots at Vikings. Vikings favored by 2.5 in this game. TT, start us off because I don't know.
Yeah, this one's hard because you watched the way the Vikings played last week. I still think the Vikings are a fluke. Not that they're a fluke. I think they're a decent team, but there's, to me, it's choke Cousins. He's always going to choke out. The offensive line didn't perform. Nobody performed well last week for the Vikings. I'm going to take upset alert. I think this would be an upset. I'm going to take the Patriots this week. That defense is playing really well. You guys have a top 3 defense, I believe, now. And I think it's going to be enough where you guys put up a couple points against a not so good defense, in my opinion. And you keep them to a low score.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Vikings defense is not nearly as good as the Patriots and how the Patriots have looked, but I can't ignore how the Patriots offense looked. I got to go Vikings at home in this game. They were embarrassed by the Cowboys, and that's not a reason to pick someone because obviously it shows that they have some flaws. But I do think that they come home and they're pretty fired up and they win this primetime game. I just needed to see more out of the Patriots offense, and who knows if they win that game last week if it wasn't for a crazy special teams play.
Yeah, I hate to say it as well, but I'm going with the Vikings. I'm calling these picks to get the belt, not with my heart. So, just the way the offense has looked the last couple of weeks, it's just not good. And I think that Vikings offense is going to bounce back at home, and they just have so much talent on offense that, as good as our defense has looked, I don't know if we can contain all that.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the Lions have 4 wins on the year, and I've only picked them twice our entire podcast. So, all right, Sunday games: Buccaneers at Browns. Bucks favored by 3.5 in this game. Austin, why don't you go ahead and start?
I'm going with the Bucks and TB12 coming off a bye week. I think that their legs are going to be fresh. Mike Evans needed it. And yeah, I think that defense bounces back, and Chubb just did not look good last week and got contained. So I'm going with the Bucks.
You said fresh legs, man. I don't know if anybody on that team has fresh legs anymore. I do think Brady off a bye week, get him a little rest, let him chill out. They won the week before that too. It seemed like they were almost catching a little bit of a stride those last 2 games. I think they come out, they win this one. The Browns are slowly. You can just see it fading. And I think they're just praying for Watson to hurry up and get back. So Give me Tampa in this one.
Yeah, I'm going Bucks as well. Everything you guys said, I agree with. I also think that the Buccaneers defense is very underrated still. I don't know what they're statistically rated, but I know media and fan rated. They're not looked at for as good as they are. They have a good linebacking core. They got a good defensive line interior, and I like their secondary, dude. I really like Winfield.
I really like Vita Vea.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going Bucks. All right, Bengals at Titans. Bengals favored by 2 in this game, and this is an underrated good game. These are both teams that are on the brink of either collapsing or emerging, and I'm going Bengals in this game for multiple reasons. Joe Burrow is getting his confidence back. They're winning games again. And I heard this during the game last week when I was watching it against the Patriots. They said this is the time of year the Bengals really turned it around and made that Super Bowl run and started hitting their stride. And it looked like that was the case against the Steelers. They put up 37 points, I believe, against the Steelers defense, which is impressive. And I think that they continue to hit their stride. And I heard that Jamar Chase might be back. So that's a toss up right now. But yeah, I'm going Bengals in this game.
Yeah, I'm going with.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm going with the Bengals as well. I think they were hitting their stride, just like you said, and Joe Mixon went out during the game, but hopefully he can play. Because I think Joe Burrow finally has his confidence back and his swagger back. So once Jamar Chase comes back, they're going to be hitting it in full stride, and I think that defense is underrated as well.
Yep.
So that was kind of my thing is like they have Jamar Chase. I didn't know if he was back or not yet. And then also the Joe Mixon injury was a concussion, right?
Yep.
Okay. One, they put up 37 against Pittsburgh. I still don't believe Pittsburgh's really good anywhere, in my opinion. And Tennessee went into Lambeau when it was cold out, primetime football, and kind of handled the Packers.
They handled them for sure.
Handled them for sure, and just kind of had their way with them. The Titans almost seem like they're somewhat catching a stride. I wouldn't say a stride, but they know how to win these types of games.
Mm-hmm.
And Cincinnati's defense gave up 30 to Pittsburgh. I think Henry has a field day and he runs for over 120 yards. Give him a couple touchdowns. Tennessee wins.
Yeah. All right. Texans at Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 13 in this game. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Dolphins offense is too much to handle. Texans offense is not too much to handle.
Yeah. The Texans were another QB problem. They said David Mills this past week. They didn't look good at all. Miami, to me, is one of my favorite teams to watch right now, and Tua is unreal. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I've been doing really well in my locks, and I know this is a big lock to take, but give me the Dolphins as my lock of the week against Houston at 13.
I almost took that as my lock as well.
Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins as well. I don't think there's much to say besides too much speed on the offensive side for the Dolphins.
Coming off a bye.
Yeah, coming off a bye, and also the division leading Dolphins. So I think that's gave them some confidence that all they have to do is win and they can stay on top of that division.
All right. Bears at Jets. Jets favored by 3 in this game. And I kind of wish I knew who the starting quarterback was for both teams because Justin Fields is battling an injury right now with his shoulder, non-throwing shoulder, I believe. It's his left shoulder. And the Jets, who knows if they trot out Flacco, White, or Wilson. I think that they're still going to start the game with Wilson. I think that the announcement by Salah was kind of just like I hope you're listening, Zach Wilson. Your job is not secure right now. You need to play better. And I don't think that they do. I'm taking the Bears on the road. I don't know why. If they don't have Fields, who is their backup? Either you guys know who the Bears backup
They
is?
have Nathan Peterson and Trevor Siemian.
Jeez. All right, I'm going out on a limb and praying that Justin Fields plays, but I do think that the Bears go ahead and take this one on the road. Oh man, that's tough. I don't know if I actually, I don't know if I actually believe that, but
I'm banking on Fields not playing. A lot of people are saying your season's already over. Don't rush him back from an injury. Let him sit out this game and, don't hurt anything further on. So, plus it did seem like he was actually pretty hurt. The smart thing for the Chicago to do, if they're smart, is to sit Fields, and that's what I'm going to go with. That being said, I don't see Peterson or Simeon leading any team ever to a win. So give me the Jets at home. Zach Wilson steps his game up a little bit, and they win.
Yeah, I think you have to look at the defenses on both sides. And I would take the Jets defense all day over that Chicago defense. I think that Zach Wilson definitely got a wake-up call in that interview, and now that he knows that his job's on the line, he's going to have to step up or he's going to see himself on the bench.
Yeah, I'm changing my pick. I'm going Jets. I can't. I can't. I can't. Jets are at home. They need I just think that
Yeah.
that just lit a fire under them, especially Zach Wilson, and he has to play better. And there's no way they play worse. Um, I have to switch. I'm going Jets. I'm sorry, Bears fans. I gotta go Jets. Falcons at Commanders. Commanders favored by 4 in this game. I'm riding the hot Heineke's, and I can't wait to see what retros he busts out after beating the Falcons.
Yeah, Washington is again going to be my lock of the week. I'm going to add them again -4, which I think is definitely doable. That team is getting behind Heineke. The running game's good. Antonio Gibson's looking decent. And yeah, I just don't trust the Falcons with Marcus Mariota.
Um, I don't know. This one was kind of a toss up for me because the Falcons aren't bad. After watching this team last week and a couple other games this season, they're 5-6 for a reason. I mean, yeah, they're not good. They're not the best team, but they're also strong in a lot of areas. They're fast. Mariota's not a scrub, man, and I think them going to get him was smart. But Washington is at home. That Chase Young is back, and Taylor Heineke is going to give himself a new pair of Jordans this week. Give me the Commanders. Yeah,
All
at home.
right. All right. Broncos at Panthers. Broncos favored by 2.5 in this game. And I'm locking this one up. Broncos -2.5. I hate picking the Broncos. I have no idea why I would lock them, but I also think if there's any team that has a worse situation going on than the Broncos, it's got to be the Panthers. So I'm locking up the Broncos. This could be my worst week yet, boys. But I'm going with my heart in these ones and going with my gut. So I'm locking up Broncos -2.5.
You talked about a worse situation. The Broncos don't have a bad situation. They're just playing bad.
Yeah,
They
I
have a
guess. Yeah.
great situation. You go and get a Hall of Fame quarterback, possibly, and all these other players. You would think that they wouldn't be 3-7, but yet here we are. I do think they win this week. Like you said, the Panthers, bottom 3 team to me in the league. I think this game will be close. I think it's going to be like a 14-16 type game because neither team's going to score, but give me the Broncos in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb on this one and say that Sam Darnold leads the Panthers to the win, and he takes over that starting job. I think he just needed an opportunity to do it. Now that he has it, he's going to use a lot of DJ Moore, a lot of Ian Thomas, and just make the solid throws and show why he was that high pick because I don't think he ever got a chance much.
I sure
Besides the
hope
Jets.
so. I sure hope so. I don't want them taking one of the quarterbacks off the board. I want the Lions to keep
Yeah,
winning and be able to get their quarterback.
yeah, and I
Um,
think the Panthers defense is solid as well.
all right. Ravens at Jags. Ravens favored by 4 in this game. I'm gonna go Ravens in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ravens too. Um, yeah, I really just think the Ravens end up winning this one just because they have Lamar at quarterback, and that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say besides that. You don't need much besides Lamar, and Baltimore's defense is finally stepping up a little bit and coming together with Roquan Smith and Marcus Peters. I think the Jags are just still a little bit too young on the defensive side to contain Lamar Jackson. So,
Yeah, I agree. We'll see what Trayvon Walker's all about this weekend.
yeah.
All right. Late afternoon games, starting with the Chargers at the Cardinals. Chargers favored by 4.5 in this game. I'm going Chargers. They've been playing better football lately. I know that it's not showing in the win column, but they've also played some tough opponents, with that being the 49ers and the Chiefs. But they played them both tough. It took the Chiefs a last second touchdown, basically. And they were playing the Niners super tough as well. But yeah, Chargers 4.5. I think the Chargers win. I don't know if they win by the 4.5 here, but I do think that they win.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers as well. they should have won last week if Justin Herbert could just drive down the field and get a touchdown. They win that game. So I'm taking them, and with Arizona looking as bad as they did without banged up, I don't think it matters if Kyler plays or not because the offensive line is just too banged up. Real facts.
There's just no way, bro. There's no way. There's no way.
I remember I was texting Ross this week and I told him he had Brandon Ayuk versus D Hop. If Brandon Ayuk beat D Hop in fantasy this week, I would take the Chargers. Well, he didn't. Okay, he didn't. Give me the Cardinals at home.
There's no way. There's no way.
We got a lot of injuries coming back. Hopefully this week, we're gonna win.
All right. Raiders at Seahawks. Seahawks favored by 3.5 in this game.
Yeah, this one was almost my lock of the week. I like Vegas, even though they're playing in Seattle. I think Vegas is coming off a good OT win. And Devontae Adams looks like he's hitting his stride, getting some of his swagger back. So give me Vegas in this.
Yeah, I like the pick. I feel like Seattle lost right before their bye week, and I'm really hoping that humbles them out a little bit. So I'm going to take the Vegas in this one. I think that they might hit a little bit of a stride here. It's not going to be enough to take them to playoffs, obviously, but they're going to end up winning this one, I think.
I'm going Seahawks at home. Hostile place to play. Geno Smith is balling out. Kenneth Walker is balling out. Raiders, yeah, they won, but they beat the Broncos. Who cares? I like the Raiders. I like what they have. And I do think that they have turned it around a little bit, but I got to go Seahawks at home. All right. Rams at Chiefs. Chiefs are by 14.5 in this game. Chiefs.
Yeah, Stafford's hurt still. I don't think he's playing this week. He might sit out the rest of the year. Chiefs.
Yep. Yeah, Chiefs.
And so the Rams are going to win. Perfect. All right. Now, Saints at Niners. Niners favored by 9 in this game. Impressive win by them. Very impressive win. Cardinals, as much as we give TT a hard time, that's a tough team to beat. And they beat them handily. They kind of had their way with them on offense. I'm going Niners in this game over the Saints. I've been riding the Saints a lot on this podcast, but I just think I said it. I don't know if I said it on the podcast. I've said it to a lot of people publicly. I think the 49ers are going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. That's my hot take right now. That's the direction I see their team going in. I think ultimately they win that division over the Seahawks. But that's how I'm feeling right now. Yeah, Jimmy G brings a whole different weapon to that offense, and it's not off of his gameplay. It's more or less his intelligence and knowing how to control that team.
Yeah, I'm going San Francisco as well. I think Jimmy G looked good, and how can you not with all the weapons that they have? And I think that two running back backfield, like it seems like neither one of them want to lose the job, so they both are just running so hard. And it kind of looks like the old school 49ers, how they're just getting the ball in playmakers' hands and letting them go to work. So I agree with you. I think they're going to represent that NFC, and they win this game.
Yeah, I think the Niners win this one pretty easily. The Saints are another team that are not really in a quarterback situation, but they're iffy at quarterback position. I mean, they keep going with Andy Dalton. That seems to be the guy they want, but I'm going to take the Niners still in this one. They look really tough.
Last night was an indication that they're finding out how to use Deebo and Christian McCaffrey at the same time. They got Elijah Mitchell back, who's playing well in his limited time. Ayuk is a touchdown scorer. Kittle is Kittle. I mean, they are dangerous on offense, and their defense is always going to be able to do well. That's exciting for them. I'm excited for the Niners, and their fans should be excited. Sunday Night Football, Packers at Eagles. Eagles favored by 7 in this game at home. Eagles have been slipping up a little bit.
They sure have.
They aren't looking like the force they were when they were undefeated, but they still found a way to win, albeit it was in the last minute against the Colts, who we've been slandering quite a bit on this podcast.
Yeah.
But we're not to them yet. We'll stick to the Eagles for right now. I'm gonna go with Eagles in this game because I think the Packers are the most disappointing team this season. I think that they can hold that title up there kind of with the Colts because for our expectations for the Colts, but I think everyone's expectations for the Packers, this has got to be the most disappointing thing ever. They are in third or last in the division right now. It goes Vikings, Lions, and then Bears, Packers are right there.
Green Bay, Chicago.
Okay, so Chicago's last. And yeah, so I mean that's just not the Packer way. I don't think it turns around this week. I think they have a tall task in front of them still.
Um, this is another one where I know a couple weeks ago I picked Green Bay over Dallas. Um, this just has me in a funny feeling, kind of that Green Bay is going to pull this one out. Um, it's just one of those games where I have it like deep down. I'm like, I would sprinkle Green Bay money line, and that's what I'm going to take this week. I think Green Bay is going to win this one. The Eagles have kind of been sloping downhill, and I don't even think they'll finish as the 1 seed anymore.
It's just not to cut you off, Austin or UTT. It's just tough for me to imagine that wide receiver core, even with Randall Cobb back,
Yeah,
against the Eagles secondary. Like, I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I mean, it would be
yeah.
very Aaron Rodgers like to come out and just, hey, oh, you guys are the number 1 seed. I'm gonna torch you.
Yeah, give me the Eagles at home in this one. I think the reason why last week was so close is because the Eagles had 4 fumbles. Even though they only lost 2, but it's still just uncharacteristic of Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown to be fumbling the ball. It's just something that they don't do. Um, the Eagles' offense hasn't looked bad. It's just that Miles Sanders can't get anything going, and I think that offense is getting a little bit. That offensive line is getting a little bit banged up, but I think that Eagles defense is just going to be too much for that Green Bay offense. So give me the Eagles at home.
All right. Monday Night Football to cap off Week 12. Steelers at Colts. Thanks NFL. I guess I don't know. I guess this is a Monday Night Football game. Was this picked in 2012? I don't know, but I guess if we have to pick a team in this game, I'm gonna go Colts. They've been playing a lot better. Like we said, they took the Eagles to the ropes, and obviously they won against the Raiders. So yeah, I like the Colts. I think Jonathan Taylor's turning it around. Um, yeah, give me the Colts in this game. Kenny Pickett has. You might have to fact check this. I saw it on Twitter. I don't know. It's just funny. Kenny Pickett has the same amount of touchdown passes as Derrick Henry right now.
Yep.
So that basically tells me all I need. Pickens is doing what he needs to do. I saw Kenny Pickett miss him on like 4 touchdowns, and he finally on the 5th one, he finally actually scored on that drive. So Pickens is balling, but Pickett needs to step it up. Najee Harris had another good game, or had a good game. I don't want to say another, had a good game. So yeah, I'm still going with the Colts here. I don't think the Steelers have turned it around yet.
I don't either. Like you said, the Colts they're playing better. Believe it or not, they still have a shot at the 8 seed too. So, I think that they do. I think Steelers defense hasn't looked good. The offense hasn't looked good, and the Colts are just finding a way to stay in games these last few ones. I think Taylor's gonna have a big game, and I think Matt Ryan's gonna show out. I think they're gonna win on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I'm going with the Colts as well in this one. I think that's a different team with Jeff Saturday leading, and I think Matty Ice came back and kind of woke up a little bit last game, along with JT as well. So I think even though the Steelers defense is good, I think the Colts offense does wake up a little bit, and they find a way to win this game at home.
What's the over under, like 35?
The over under I got
39.
39.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bad. I mean, it's not because it's the NFL, but I mean, that I think that game's gonna be very low scoring.
Yeah.
But luckily it's at the Colts, not the Steelers, so it's not gonna be like crazy weather.
The Jets and Bears are also at 39.
Yeah, which says exactly what it needs to say. All right, fellas, let's try this as well. Comment below what you guys think. We're gonna go ahead and tell you guys where we think Odell Beckham Jr. ends up. Says he's gonna sign after Thanksgiving. Whether that happens, we don't know, but we're gonna make our predictions. And just for the sake of the seasonal holiday, let's just go ahead with your favorite Thanksgiving dish. Comment it below. If you comment that below as well as your lock, you can comment 2 separate comments. We'll enter you in the drawing twice for that. Just comment where you think OBJ is going to go or your favorite Thanksgiving dish. I'll start. I'm going Odell Beckham is going to sign with the Cowboys. I heard good things about his visit. Apparently, he's a college recruit again. Jerry Jones can offer him whatever he wants to offer him. He's gonna want. I think that's gonna be very ideal for him to be this time of year. He seems like the type that would want to rather play indoors. Cowboys have a better chance at winning that division, in my opinion, than the rumored other destination, which is going back to the Giants. And I just think the Cowboys ultimately have a better chance of making noise than the Giants do. That's my personal opinion. My personal opinion is also OBJ to the Cowboys. And my favorite Thanksgiving dish is going to be, do you guys consider cheesy potatoes a Thanksgiving dish, or do I have to go traditional?
Yeah, need to cheesy potatoes.
Cheesy potatoes. If I have to go traditional, I hate turkey, so I'm going to say ham.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going with the Cowboys as well. I think he has a big personality, and Dallas is a big personality city, so I think it fits him well. And I think he would fit in that offense well because I don't think CD Lamb's the #1, and just nobody else, no other wide receivers on that offense besides maybe Dalton Schultz have showed up much. So I think that he would fit in well in that scheme.
And the team's openly bargaining for him.
Yeah.
Parsons has come out and said it. Lamb,
Yep.
I believe, has come out and said it. I'm sure Dak has said it. Zeke has said it.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, good.
And my dish is clearly mashed potatoes.
Standard. Love it.
Yeah.
Put a little butter on there, or what do you add?
Oh, yeah. A little butter, a little gravy. You got to load them
Are
up.
you a gravy guy? I'm not a gravy guy.
Yeah.
Gravy.
Gotta be.
Yeah, I'll have to try it this year. I haven't tried it in a few years. I'm a little iffy on gravy.
I'm gonna say he's gonna go to the Cowboys too. I think that if he wasn't coming off injury, I would say he'd go to the Giants just to take over a wide receiver 1 position. But coming off a huge injury like he is, knowing that the season is probably just going to be a 1-year deal and then he'll be a test free agency, I think he goes to Dallas and he's looking to contend. He wants another ring. So I think that's where he's going to end up signing. Like you said, his visit with the Cowboys went well. Jerry Jones will pay him whatever he wants, plus probably someone underneath the table and buy him whatever he wants. So I think it's everything leads for him to sign with the Cowboys. It's going to happen.
What's your dish?
I'm a stuffing guy.
Stuffing. I had a good conversation with my guy Nate today. I'm trying stuffing on Thursday again because I haven't tried it in so many years because I thought I hated it. He said he hated it and tried it 5 years ago, and he was pissed that he wasn't eating it all the years he thought he hated it. So I'm going to try it this year.
Stuffing is always one of my favorites, man.
Dude, are you a type that does your family put sausage in the stuffing or no? I've seen it both ways.
I don't think we put sausage in it. We just make it normal. But and then I'm also a ham guy too. Ham and chile.
Don't even know what that is.
Chile is like a salsa type thing, my family.
Yep. I would like to say one more underrated OBJ destination is the Chiefs. I can see him going there for the chance to win a ring and chance to play with arguably the best quarterback in the league. Not an argument to some, but I personally think the argument is him and Josh Allen. And they just lost Hardman. Juju's out. I don't know for how long. I think that's a destination he could go to, and that offense with him would be freakish. It already is without him. I do think Kadarius Toney does throw that off a little bit because they just went out and got a guy. But I don't be surprised if he signs with the Chiefs. That's what I'll say.
Is McCole Hardman out for a while?
I think so, right?
I think Juju's back though.
Juju's back, but I don't think Juju's setting setting the precedent if OBJ joins the team or not, personally.
Right.
I don't think McCole Hardman is either, but I feel like the wide receiver room with both of them back, I think it gets a little stacked, but
Yeah, I think my running up was going to be Baltimore. Just because if they want to make a playoff push, they need a wide receiver, and it seems like everybody keeps getting injured. So it'd be fun to see.
But yeah, my runner-up would have been the Giants. I think he would go back home just for the heck of it.
all right, boys. Random player. Let's go. Austin, go ahead and kick us off with this one.
I'm going with Matt Castle.
Matt Castle. All right. I'm going to go with Brian Dawkins, man. I'm going to go with the safety that put fear in people's hearts.
Brian Cushing.
Brian Cushing. All right. There we go. All right, fellas. Another week in the books here. You guys know what happens now. Headphones are coming off. I can't hear you. Love you, boys. Give me this dang helmet. Get my glasses off my face. The helmet's a little far away right now. Like, subscribe, comment, give me this. Let's go Lions. Let's make it 4 in a row this week on Thanksgiving. Go Patriots. Go Cardinals. Like, subscribe, comment. Peace.